All right, so I wanted to do a quick tutorial on the reverse lunge to make sure that people are really understanding this move. I'm actually going to put this a little bit higher. All right. Okay, so the reverse lunge is a really great move. Sorry, I'm going to adjust this again. It's a really great move to work on extension in the hip flexors or in the leg without bringing the pelvis long. And it's also a really great move to work on if you have tight hips. So in this reverse lunge, we're bringing one leg back. Our back toes our feet are kind of lifted. You can't totally see here. Here you go. I'll just come back a little further. Good. And essentially, we're going to start actually in a low lunge. This is totally optional. If you can't get up from here to standing, do not worry about it. Find some blocks. I'm using my blocks under my computer right now, so I don't have them available to me. But I will grab a bolster. Find something to put under your knees so that you're not going all the way down. You're starting from a higher point. So this might be where you're at. Wherever that is totally acceptable, and we don't want to push it more than necessary because that's not really helpful to teaching our bodies to adapt and get stronger. So we're going to start in a low lunge. Your, say your left foot is forward. You want to maybe scoot your left foot a little bit further forward, making sure that your left knee is not collapsing inward or outward. Good. From here, find a neutral pelvis, which for most of us means you're going to have to tuck in the pelvis. And you might already feel a stretch or lengthening in the front of that right thigh. Good. From here, and also notice if you're having like serious hiking in the left hip, right? That might be your pattern. And so this is a really awesome time to practice just kind of lifting and lowering and just find that place where your hips are kind of even with each other in relation to each other. Good. From here, we're going to lift straight up. So we want to keep our pelvis in neutral to do this. And we're going to drive our left heel into the floor. Once you feel your glutes and your hamstrings a little bit kind of turning on from driving that left heel in the floor, I want you to start lifting up from there. Good. Come back into a tuck here. So you might have come into a slight untuck once you came to the top. I want you to come back into that tuck. And from here, you're going to slowly resist that move. The weight is even between both legs. So we're not just here. Weight's even between both legs. We're resisting coming up and down. Good. So you're driving your left foot forward. Now, if you need to lurch your body forward to get up, I want you to put something underneath your knees, okay? So that you're not starting from down here. I want this to be successful for you so that your body, again, is really able to make the connection of what's appropriate in that move. I'm noticing that my painting up here is extremely crooked, and so are Frankie's paintings. Anyway, so if this is where you're at, that's perfectly fine. Modification doesn't mean you're any weaker or not as good or whatever. It just means that that's where your body's at for the day. Good. So again, really driving in that front heel to come up. And you're just going to reposition your pelvis when you get to the top, keeping that nice tuck in your pelvis to come down. Okay, so this is a lot of work. This is not an easy move. And it can be a lot of work on that back leg. So then you're going to switch legs. If you feel like, you know what, I can totally come up and down. If I start from the top, that's fine too. You can totally start from the top or the floor. So standing on the floor, both accepted. If you're starting from the top, from standing, make sure you're finding that neutral pelvis. So you can come into this sort of 90-90 already. Obviously, my knees are not really in a 90-90, but roughly. They're both slightly bent. Find that neutral pelvis and making sure that my right hip isn't hiking up, so it's not higher than my left. Good. And I'm just going to come up and down, keeping my pelvis in a neutral position the entire time. Good. You can tell I'm out of breath here. This is a lot of work. And I want you to really feel your right heel driving and your right foot kind of pushing off. Woo! So you're not using momentum to get up from the floor. Okay? Good. And that's really what I want you to be working on. It's just such an amazing move because it works a lot of parts that are so important to pelvic alignment. And again, as always, if you have any questions, just let me know.